these 3D characters that you're looking at on my screen are characters that I created, and I'm not happy with them. I'm going to make some changes to one of them. The one on the right, this one over here, I used a figure from DAZ Studio called Rain. I like the figure, but the problem is that she is too young. That's why you get the upturned nose look here, is because of the age of the character. And I want to go with a little bit older character, and I want to keep some of the features, but I'm going to change some stuff around too. So I'll walk you through real quick what I'm going to do in order to make those changes. So I'm going to open up DAZ Studio. The center of the screen here is the workspace. A lot of times we have a file new in order to get the workspace cleaned up. There we go. So we've got the perspective of the view that we want. I'm going to go to Figures, and I'm going to go to People, and I'm going to go to Female, and I'm going to come down on this one to a figure called Ashley. The one before, of course, was Rain. This is Ashley. We're going to click on her and get her in. Okay, we've got the figure Ashley in the computer, and I'm going to make some changes to her face. She looks to me to be about 18 to 20 years old, and that's pretty good. I want to make her just a little bit younger looking. So we've got Genesis 2 selected over here, Genesis 2 Female on the right. Click on Parameters for her, come down on the different things we can do, and look for the youth controls. These are the controls that define her age, basically the way she looks. And I'm going to go to Youth Morph and just bring her down in age just a little bit. So I'm going to put about 15% of youth onto her. We'll shorten her down a little bit and make her look a little younger. Go back up here, and I like that. That looks good. All right, we're going to get down to the lips, and we're going to change them. We're going to change the size of them. Again, the DAZ Studio tends to have their characters with full lips. Probably makes it easier for morphing and making changes. But we're going to come down here to the lips. We're going to go to the lower lip size, and we're going to reduce that. Get that down, and we're going to do the upper lip size, and we're going to reduce that as well. And then we're going to take and thin it just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Watch that lower lip a little bit. There we go. All right, and also we're going to make the mouth a little bit wider, a little bit too narrow. I would make it just a little bit wider. That looks good. Okay. All right. So first, next thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the skin tone. I'm going to render in iRay as opposed to 3Delight. I like iRay better. So it takes a little longer, but it turns out a really nice result. So I'm going to go over here to Materials. I've got selected over on the left-hand side. Click that open and go down to iRay and click that open. And then Skin is what we're working with. Click that. Now I only have 3 subjects that are iRay. That's Rain, which was the previous subject, Skylar, and then the iRay optimized for Genesis 2 Female. That's the one we're going to use. The difference using Rain, if you're using Rain, you get a little bit darker texture. I like, for this particular character, I like going with the iRay optimized for Genesis 2. You'll see the tones here have changed some. The eyes have changed a little bit, but not much. They get kind of a frost look to them, and I'm not too sure why it does that necessarily, but it's got something to do with iRay, I'm sure. I like the color of the eyes. I like the reflectivity of the eyes. I'll change it later if I want to. Next thing we're going to give her is hair. I'm going to give her some hair. And so in the previous one, we were using Desirata hair. We will go ahead and use Desirata hair as well here. And double click and bring that in. And we've got the Desirata hair. It'll load in just a second. Get rid of the bald spots. There we go. Now, things to change in Desirata, we come over here to the right. Click on Desirata hair. So we come down here where it says low hairline. We're going to put it at 100% low. And then below that is a raise the hairline. And the slider there is in the middle, which means I can raise or lower it. So I'm going to go ahead and lower it some more. And it does look kind of like she's poking through the hair a little bit. So we're going to change the hair position. Come up to the top of the hair controls. And on the left-hand side, we're going to move her hair back behind her shoulder. On the right-hand side, we're going to move the hair back behind her shoulder. So now it goes completely behind her. And we've got that. We need to lengthen the hair. If you look behind her, where the hair's at, it's not too bad. but it'll fill out a little bit more when we go ahead and make the back longer, and we make the left and the right longer as well. And we got a little bit more fill to the hair there, so that looks a little bit better. That fits her nicely. The next thing we want to do is we want to put her into an outfit. We want to get her some clothes. We're going to put on her a t-shirt. Now the thing of it is, when I hit Genesis 2 and I select up the wardrobe, there are no t-shirts that I can use. They have t-shirt type stuff. I mean, there probably exists one, but I don't have it. And I just as soon not have to go out and buy it if I've got something that'll work. So what I do is I take the Genesis 2 here at the top, and I just go below, and I click on the open area, so I deselect anything, and it brings up all the clothing that they have. There's, as I come down, I'll go ahead and take wardrobe, and I go to shirts, and I go all the way to the top, and there's a 50s shirt that I like, works real well, so we'll double click it. And obviously it doesn't fit her, because it's not made for a Genesis 2, it's made for a Genesis character. Remind you, there are 4 characters, four figures, base type figures. There's a Genesis 2, Genesis 3, and Genesis 8. And each one has its own wardrobes, hairstyles, all kinds of stuff. But you can cross-dress them from one series to another. It's possible. So we're going to take that one. We're going to go to parameters, to that shirt, and we're going to go ahead and point at Genesis 2 female and say accept. And then we're going to go fit to, and we're going to say Genesis 2 female, accept, and it's going to say, oops, say we don't know who that is. We don't know who Genesis 2 is. Who is that? Well, what was this made for originally? And it was made for Genesis originally, because it could fit a boy or a girl, either one, a man or a woman. Then you come down here, what type is it? Well, it is a shirt. We can click that and accept. And what happens now is that shirt fits her, and we back out and take a look. And there she is wearing a t-shirt, black t-shirt, which is what I want her wearing. The next thing I'm going to put on her is I'm going to go ahead and put on the dark shade, which is a Genesis 3 product. So we'll go back up here and unselect that shirt and go to shirts over here, which we are already there, and come down and find the dark shade right there, dark shade tunic. And I'm going to put that on her. So I double click the dark shade tunic. And lo and behold, it doesn't fit because it's Genesis 3 and she's a Genesis 2. So back to parameters, back to dark shade, select the shirt, go down to point at Genesis 2 female and say accept. Then you want to go to fit to, and again, Genesis 2 female, and hit accept. And what happens here is, again, it says it's unsupported. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be because, so we just leave it as unsupported because it's not in there. We go down here to what type it is. Well, it is a shirt. It's an overshirt. And hit accept and let the computer go ahead and calculate all the stuff out, and it works good. This section in the middle here, this V that you can barely see, let me zoom in on the V somewhat so you can see it. And we're going to have to make some adjustments, obviously, here too. But there's a V that runs right in the middle here that's open to the chest, and we've covered that up with the shirt. Now we have to go to the tunic, which we are in already, and go to the parameters, and we got down the tunic and find the expand command, expand all. So we find the expand all command here, and we start enlarging the tunic so that it covers up the t-shirt underneath, and that looks pretty doggone good. It's a little bulky, but that's okay. So the next thing we want to do, we want to give her a pair of pants, because right now she has no pants on. I'm not going to use the pants that come with it. What I'm going to do is I've got this open so that I can open up the wardrobe and see all this stuff. But actually, I don't need to, because what I'm going to go to in pants is something that she already can wear because it's for Genesis 2. And that is going to be the Anakin pants. We're going to use that instead. And so we'll double click on that, allow it to load, and it's in. And we can back that subject up from there and take a look at what we have. And those pants don't look too awfully bad. The top for the Anakin pants would work well too, but I wanted to show you how this works. And of course, you have to zoom in tight and take a look at how the tunic falls over the pants. Looks like it does a good job. Don't have to make any adjustments there. And of course, she doesn't have to wear boots. She can wear. Now I can leave the boots off. I don't need to put them on because they're not going to be in the shot. but you might want to put them on. But later on, you may change your position of your camera, and that would be a problem. So let's go ahead and find some shoes for her real quick. We'll finish her up. They're going to have to be black, and actually there are a pair that I can use. So we come down, here we go. So we have female boots. So I'm going to put these boots on her, and they look rather nice. They have different colors, different shades I can put them in, but that one works best anyway. The only thing I've got left to do real quick is I'm going to pose her real fast for you, and we'll be done. So let's go ahead and go by function. We'll have her standing, standing up, and we'll come down here to one of the more action-oriented poses that I have. These are all action-type poses. This one looks kind of good. We'll take that one. Boom. And there you have it. If you want to see what she's going to look like, I will put a background on her real quick. We'll go to props. We'll go to landscapes. Let's take this one here. This is good. And the forest background comes in, kind of like a green screen. And then we're going to turn that a little bit. We got the environment selected. Go to the parameters for that and rotate it just a hair. Get the waterfall in the shot. The waterfall looks good. And we will go with that, and we go to the new. We have a 3D render. So hopefully this has been helpful to you in some way and better understand what I do. Again, this was not meant to be a direct tutorial as much as it was just to show you how I do things with 3D Studio. So thank you, and we look forward to stop in again when we do another video. Thanks a lot. Bye.